Hello friends, welcome to Joy of Life. So before we proceed with this episode, what I would like to tell you is that if you have not seen the system design introduction video, wherein we have discussed about the architecture of this mini project that we are building, I would highly recommend you to check the same. I will leave a link to the description as well so that you can click, check the same and then get back onto the video. So before we proceed, a quick recap on what we did on the earlier video. So in the previous video, we have created a Docker image out of our Spring Boot application, and then we have started a container and made requests to both our get and post endpoints, and we saw them working perfectly. So in this video, what we are going to do is we are going to pull the latest MySQL image, and then we are going to start a container. And also we are going to connect it with our MySQL workbench, and we'll see that the data is getting persisted. And in the next video, we are going to persist the URLs that we are getting from the request, and we are going to persist them into the database. So we go to the Docker Hub, and the image that we are going to use is a MySQL image over here. So we are going to use the verified official MySQL image, and we are going to get the MySQL image, the latest one. So we can just use a Docker pull MySQL, right? So latest means 8.0.25 or 8.0 or 8 or latest. Everything means the same. So if you say 8, it's going to go ahead and download the 8's latest version, which is 8.0.25. If you provide 8.0, so whatever the higher version present under 8.0 is going to go ahead and download that. So latest means whatever is the latest. So when the version 9 comes, so latest will go to 9, and 8 will remain at 8.0.25 if there are not any more versions that's up, right? So that is how the Docker tag works. And what we are going to do is now we are going to start the container. So you can see that you will get the commands. So starting a MySQL instance is simple. So this is what you need to do. You have to do a Docker run, then hyphen name, some MySQL name, -e. This is your password. You can put any password, and then you can just put a tag by which you'll identify MySQL. And definitely you can put the user also. Otherwise your default user would be root. So let's try out this command from here. So let's see what are the images we have for now. So I don't see a MySQL over here. We have our URL service and all that. So what we are going to do is we are going to do a Docker pull MySQL. So when you don't provide a version like we have provided in JDK, OpenJDK, it will download the latest version, right? So if you want a particular version, you should specify the version, otherwise it will get always the latest one, right? So it's currently pulling the images and we are done. So if we are doing a Docker images, we'll see that we have our MySQL image downloaded. It's the latest, created 6 days ago, was about 556 MB, right? And let's see what are the images. And there are no containers running as we see over here. So we are going to start a MySQL container over here using the MySQL 8 or latest. Anything is fine. Both are pointing to actually the same version. So what we are going to do is we are going to run Docker run. Then we need to give a name. So we'll have only one MySQL instance, and we are going to create multiple database inside it, right? So let's give it the name of a URL project. And then you need to specify some environment variable. The most important of them is MySQL root password. So I'll put it as root. And we are going to run this in a daemon mode. So it will be running in the background. And also we are going to give the IP and port. So we'll be mapping to our 3307 port, and we'll map this to 3306 port inside the Docker container. And we are going to say MySQL, let's say 8, we are going to use 8. So as you see over here that the container has been created. So just quickly check it. Yep, we can say URL project and it is running. So what we'll do quickly is we'll go inside it and create a database for our service. right? So we are going to use docker exec, and we need an interactive mode, and the name is URL project, and let's go to the bash. So we are inside the docker container, as you see the root directory over here, right? So what we are going to do is the same way we connect to MySQL from inside the container. So we are inside the container at the moment. So we'll give the password and we are here. So let's see what are there. These are the databases we have, and let's create a database for our URL feeder service. So we'll have the same name. So let's see. Perfect. So what we are going to do is we are going to exit out of it, and we will connect it from our system directly. So we are out of it now. So I'm back to my system, and what we are going to do is we'll head over to MySQL Workbench. You can download MySQL Workbench. I'll share the link in the description. And what we are quickly going to do is we are going to connect to the database. So yeah, 127.0.0.1 port we have put 5307, right? And default database schema is URL feeder service. That's the name we have given, right? Yep, we are inside. I think we are connected as well. So let's check it out. So let's create a table, and we'll create a table and we'll go inside and see that we have the table created inside or not. So we'll call this URL collection. Just a simple table I'm creating as of now, nothing much. So now we'll add a bunch of columns before we create the table. So we can just click here and we'll get the column. So we'll put it as ID, which is a primary key, non-null, unsigned, auto increment. That's fine. And the next thing that we'll put is a URL, and we will anticipate this URL to be, say, 5,000 characters. And it has to be unique and not null for sure. And we are also going to maintain some logs over here. So let's say that this is going to be an internal field, created date, so it will be a timestamp. Okay, so this is again not null, and this what we'll do is the default value will use a macro current underscore timestamp, so that we don't need to provide value for this. It's a non-null field, and we are good with this table. Almost we have specified everything that we need. So we'll go ahead and apply this so that this table is created. So this is the table schema, if you could see. So it has generated the SQL. That's why I wanted to use this. Okay, there was an error, and the key was too long. Specified key was too long. Okay, so what we'll do is we are going to go ahead and change this. Basically, we have removed this check of unique, and what we are going to do next is we are going to apply this. The script was applied successfully, as you can see over here. So what we'll do is we'll just click on finish, and we'll quickly go over to the container and we'll check that what has happened. Okay, so we are inside the databases. So we have something like this, URL tables, and we can see that we can do a desk and see, yes, our table has been created, and we have successfully made a connection from our MySQL Workbench as well, and yeah, we are good for now. So what we'll do in the next part of this tutorial is now, since we are done with both the MySQL container and our Docker container, both is running, both is fine. What we are going to do is now we are going to integrate them. We are going to see how Spring JPA comes handy over here, and we establish the connection between them, and when we get a URL, we store them. This part we are going to do in the next video, so stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and also very soon I'll need contribution from you all in order to build this fun service that we are building, right? So yeah, that's all from this video. See you guys. Bye bye.